Welcome back to the podcast, you great, big, juicy legend. It's just me today. I know the last couple of weeks I have been bringing on some beautiful women from my book, previous clients who have shared their stories, and there's still a few to come. Last week, actually, it was meant to be me and Steve, and we recorded, and for some wonderful, magical, really great reason, the audio didn't save. Actually, didn't record. It saved but didn't record, and that was annoying. That was annoying, but luckily I had a beautiful story to share with one of my clients. And today it is just you and me, because I feel like I just want to share from me to you. And then Stevie B will be back, and we'll have a few more of the beautiful women from my book. So let me just start with this week. This week, I have had to tell myself to not trust my thoughts, like big time. And I got my period this week. I was really considering no longer doing what I'm doing and telling myself some really nasty stories. And I tell you, I can't trust my thoughts around this time. I've had my period since I was 10. I'm 39. And it's still taken me 39 years to remember the week of your period, Kat, the week particularly before your period, Kat. Do not trust the thoughts in your head. So that's been fun. That's been fun to navigate and to not take those thoughts as gospel, and instead just to watch them and notice them, love them, and then carry on. But yeah, that's been amazing. What I want to share today is something that has been also taking place in the background. If you are signed up to my EDMs, every month I write an email out to you. An email that is a drop of truth, is what it's called, where I share just like I do here, what's been going on, what's been going about, what's been coming up. And I'm going to share what I shared in there. Back in maybe 3 or so weeks ago, I was waking up with anxiety. And that's been some time since I've woken up with anxiety. I was waking up with anxiety, with this pit of despair in my gut, and being very uncomfortable. I noticed it, kind of ignored it, didn't really want to give it much power. So I just focused on what I had, focused on gratitude, etc. And it kept happening for probably 5 days. And I thought, fuck this. I can't. No. I got to look into this. I need to look into the eyes of anxiety. I need to sit next to the entity of anxiety and what's actually causing it, right? Because I looked at my outer life and I got money in my bank account. I've got food in the fridge. I am married to a really wonderful man. I've got an incredibly supportive family. I have wonderful, beautiful, soulful friendships. I am on purpose and in service. I am connected to my community and I contribute. I am fucking fit and I'm well and I'm healthy. What is up, Cat John? Seriously, right? So that's what I was doing. When I was experiencing the anxiety, I was like, no, Kat, focus on what you have. And it still was persisting. I thought, okay, you know this work. You know how to do the work. Go into it. Go into it. Sit with it, talk with it, chat with it. And so before bed, this is what I wrote. To the angst in my chest all day, and typically when I wake up, talk to me. What do you need to say? pen to paper, I wrote, are we living the right way? Will I be proud and content on my deathbed? Am I living my fullest life? Why are you never happy? What's wrong with you? You've lost your spark. You're not even going for anything. You're becoming irrelevant. What's next? It better be big. You're wasting your life. You could be doing more. You should be doing more. You're a nobody. You'll never make it. Hurry up. Do something. Cool. So I then started to track back. Where might this have come from? Lots and lots of people will ask me, so what's on for you this year? What's big? What big is happening in your life? What big are you going for? And you know what? Fair enough, because last year I wrote a book. I've got a very epic business. I've got a very epic community. I do wonderful events, etc. And fair enough. People can ask that question. People can ask that question, and then I need to be responsible about which part of me is hearing their question. So when people typically ask me that question, to be honest, a big life, and this is how I will typically answer it, a big life, what's next big for me, what's successful for me, is a life that I enjoy. And it's what I'm doing now. I love to be able to wake up, move my body, and put my body first, put my mind first. I love to make my breakfast and to work from home. I love to serve humanity. I love to create wonderful, beautiful things, programs, etc. I love taking for walks in the middle of the day with Steve. I love going up to the grocery store and saying g'day to my typical people that I buy my fruit from, etc. I love being in a financial position where I can choose to do what I like. I can buy the food that I like to buy. I can choose the clothes that I want to wear. I don't have stupid money, but I've got money in my bank account, and I like that. And that's what I reply. I say to them, like, when I keep my life simple and when I focus on the things that are really important and that matter to me, it's funny, the big things find me. The big things find me. Penguin found me. The Loom reached out to me to run the Big Zero Fucks event. And we're doing Sunday Meds there on Sunday, the 30th of March. For those of you who live in Melbourne, you might want to get involved with that. The big things find me. Back when I started my business, Lululemon found me, and all these opportunities followed as a result. I don't know, man. Like, I don't chase, right? I don't chase. And I have a war within myself about that, because I see people in my industry chasing, creating. And I definitely create, right? I definitely create. But when I hear people ask me that question, I'm like, there must be a part in me that's like, are you doing enough? Are you doing enough? Now, for those of you who know the Enneagram work, for those of you who are doing Authentic, the program, my program, for those of you who have read my book, you will know that I love the Enneagram. And my Enneagram type is a type 4, the individualist. I love when I'm in my type 4 to be special. Part of that personality type is to feel special. I'm special. And so to be special and to feel special, you want to be important. You want to do things that matter. You want to have the it factor. You want to have the that people are like, they've got that extra something. Now, when I started to ask the question to angst, what do you need to say? And then it wrote this out. I was like, okay, cool. I can track this back to, it's the start of year. People have been asking that question. Fair enough. There's a part of me that's saying to myself, that's not good enough. That's not big enough. That's not special enough. Special people do bigger things. Special people have bigger dreams. Special people go after different things. You need to be different, the individualist. And So you better. Otherwise, we're going to be insignificant, which is what I wrote there. You're going to become irrelevant. You're going to become a nobody. Do something, right? So I was like, cool. Let me just put a side note here. This is the fucking power of the work. This is the power of the work and getting so curious as to who you are, how you're wired, why you're wired this way, and how to free yourself, how to free yourself from that wiring. It is so important because if I just listened to my angst, wrote that all down, you bet your bottom dollar I'd try and go and create something that was special, that made me feel special. That probably would have taken me away from my family, that would have put me under pressure and stress because I would have felt the need to have done that. And it probably still wouldn't fill the hole of you're not special enough, right? That's the thing with the ego. It sends us on these little merry-go-round goose hunts, whatever it's called, goose chases. It goes after these false outcomes. And this is why this work matters. So I wrote that down and I was like, okay, okie dokie, not a problem. The morning after, 1, I slept like a fucking legend. 2, I didn't have as much anxiety the next day. I was like, okay, that's nice. The next morning, I write, dear heart, speak to me. What is it that you'd love for me to know? What path is it you'd love for me to take? How is it that you'd love to live this life? Ah, beautiful. Such a great question that is going to call up answers. And, my ego was like, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? What's it going to be? And the first thing that came up? The first thing that came up was, I want to sleep under the stars. I want to see all the stars. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Because I thought about then this trip that I've wanted to take for probably a year now. It's this trip to Western Australia. It's a hiking, 10-day hike. And it's a challenging hike. But you're on country, you're on out in the middle of fucking nowhere, in nature, on the land, sleeping in swags, sitting around campfires, and there's the stars. And there's the stars. And my heart said, that's it. That's what I want. I want to be in awe. I want to be moved. I want to be moved. I want an experience that matters. I want an experience for myself that matters. Because I remembered the Lara Pinta Trail that I walked a few years back now. And that is so locked in my heart. That place changed me. That walk changed me. Like I watched moons rise and I saw stars like I've never seen before. Never seen before. That just put tears in my eyes, that ran down my cheeks. And I remember I'm a weeer at night, right? I need to wee like 3 times. And I stopped drinking water or any liquid at 4 p.m. the night before because I don't want to wee, but I wee. And I remember I needed to wee, obviously, when I got out of my swag. And I just looked up at the sky and at the stars going, oh my gosh, I'm weeing under all the stars. And I freaking loved it. And so you know what? I booked it. I'm turning 40 this year. And it's my gift to myself to take myself on this hike and to sleep under the stars, because that right now is what my heart wants me to know. It's what my heart would love and how it would love to live this life. And you can see from the page before I'm looking at it that has fucking nothing to do with what the angst in my chest wrote. You're becoming irrelevant. What's next? It better be big. You're wasting your life. You could be doing more. You should be doing more. You're a nobody. You'll never make it. Hurry up. Do something. You're not going for anything. Yeah. This is the work, right? The work between the head and the heart. The true self, the false self. Authentic self, ego, whatever you want to call it. It's all the same thing. It's all the same thing. And it's like, where do I want to create my life from? Do I want to create my life from my heart? That's always going to have my authentic self back and the life that I would love to live? Shit, yeah. Or do I want to create my life from angst that comes from a place of not being special enough, not good enough, not whatever enough? And so we better create life from that and feel important and feel validated and feel special. Do I want to create my life from that? No, because I've done that and it brought me nothing. Brought me nothing but more emptiness, more loneliness, more void, more void. And so I share this with you because it's real, it's raw, and I believe it's very freaking relatable. And I know that we are all doing a head and heart dance. And sometimes we live in the head for too long and the head takes over us and we're living in that head thought overwhelm space or the angst space, the stress space. And sometimes we just need to clear it out and go into it. Sit with it. Be with it. Let it have its say and then leave it alone. Leave it alone for a day. Leave it alone for 2 days and then ask yourself a better question. Ask yourself a better question. To me, that better question was, dear heart, speak to me. What is it that you'd love me to know? What path is it you'd love me to take? How is it that you'd love to live this life? And it's interesting because since I wrote that down, what I have remembered, which I forgot for a little bit, because that's what our ego does. It tries to make us forget our truth, forget our knowing, forget what matters, forget what's truly important. What I forgot was that my heart, my life is a heart-led life. That's it. The way I do my business is heart-led. The way I live my relationships is heart-led. The way I go about living my life is heart-led. And when I try and mess with that and I try and sophisticate it up because I think, oh, that person's doing it better than me. That person looks like they're more successful. That person I start comparing, I mess up my own goddamn fucking life. I mess up my business. I mess up the way that I view money. I mess up the way that I view my relationship. I mess up the way that I'm viewing my own life and living my life. And so bringing it back to the heart brings us back to center, brings us back to alignment, brings us back to the path of what feels right, good, and true for me, which is going to lead you to your authentic life, your authentic path, not the path you think you should live, have to live, gotta live, allowed to live, not allowed to live, permitted to live. The one that feels right, good, and true. Because I know whenever I do true gratitude, not when I'm forcing myself to do gratitude because I don't want to experience anxiety, whenever I'm in true gratitude, the times that I remember are of heart. When I'm on the Lara Pinta Trail, when we're singing and dancing downstairs with the family, when Steve and I are cuddling in bed and I'm lying on his chest. Heart-led moments. I know that when I reach my deathbed, which I know my angst was afraid of, in terms of have I lived the right way, I'm going to remember that. Not that I was special. Not that I was relevant. Not that I was significant. But what made my heart go, oh, yeah, there it is. That's our life. That's it. That's what fills us up. That's what gives us the juice. That's what feels good. So I'm going to leave that with you to ponder. Where are you at? Are you in your head? Are you living from that place? Are you creating from that place? And if so, how is that working out for you? Is it filling the void? Is it filling the gap? Is it filling what you believe is missing? Or is it only creating more of I need more of that to fill the void that's still fucking there? And if you landed back in your heart, what's possible? What path might actually emerge that your head didn't think of? I'll leave that with you to ponder.